Testing, 1, 2, 3. I see colors. I should probably mute my Discord. Go figure. There, Discord muted. We're all set. Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekamac. This is Final Fantasy Dawntrail. This week is going to be a lot of rain. In fact, I heard a tiny splattering of daylight showers earlier, so we gotta get this done quickly because I probably won't have time on Thursday. Anyway, last off... That isn't right. It seems Erenville has finished making necessary arrangements to visit for the Moblin settlement. Alright, let's go. Enough with the secrecy. What's this big plan of yours? Look there, that is my big plan. What is that? It's a Puna Toy. She'll be pulling our boat upriver. How do we know she won't thrash about and sink us instead? They're gentle and timid creatures, for the most part. She's unlikely to cause a fuss unless you give her a reason to. First alpacas, now punatees. Relying a lot on animals for this journey. We should be thankful we have an animal expert as our guide then. But did it have to be my old nemesis, another boat? Well, I took you for someone who was up to the challenge. Was I wrong? Long ago, when fighting still raged between the clans, the inhabitants of Cosmalco borrowed these riverboats to move swiftly through hostile territory. But the vessels see little use with Dawntrail now at peace, so I was able to borrow one of the few which remain. I did consider a dirigible, but the pilots warned me that the updrafts near the falls would make landing difficult. You said you borrowed one, yet there appear to be several on the water. Goanna! Lamachi, travelling up the river, I presume? Seems that way. Does this mean you've earned 2 keystones already? I can't believe how well you've managed despite undertaking the contest alone. I was never alone. I've had my own entourage with me since the beginning. My friends, it's been, well, not that long. Tancred, Urianje, what are you doing here? Escorting a promise the same as you. I'd heard much of the incomparable Archons during my time at the Studium. As soon as the contest was confirmed, I thought who better to contribute to my cause. I contacted the Scholarch, who arranged an introduction to these 2 gentlemen. The second promise had specific requirements. They who would be his assistant must boast both proven survival skills and mastery of the arcane arts. Thus did Tancred and I receive the summons. My own studies concentrated on technology which our people could readily use, such as inventions born of magitech or clever engineering. Where magic was concerned, I covered only the foundation. Knowing that you two, I expect you had other reasons for accepting the job? A few. The nation of Tuliolo spans an entire continent. Depending on who wins the throne, the world may be plunged into instability once more. Ever have we striven to preserve peace? Where is our place, if not here and now? We did our due diligence, of course, and made sure of who we were working for before agreeing to this endeavour. He's even more opaque than Ryanje at times, but is surprisingly... That's quite enough of that, we must be on our way. Wait, I have one question before you leave. Koana and Wuk Lamat are vying for the throne. As Koana's entourage, does that mean you're resolved to defeat all his opponents, including us? We've sworn to do all in our power to win this contest for Koana, even if it means competing against our own comrades. We intend to hold nothing back and expect you two to do the same. And we won't disappoint you. This is probably one of the biggest squandered potentials of this arc. I thought you were taking a boat. If even you have been forced to travel on water, then the others will be doing the same. I would rather walk than risk confrontation on a leaky barge with no possibility of retreat. It's true I can't stand boats, but I trust the route that Erenville has chosen for us. Leave the handling of the punity to me. Should other wildlife attack us, however, I may have difficulty keeping her under control. Do your best to draw them away, as far from the front of the boat as possible. Then we shall remain on deck and stand guard, although it may be wise to have at least one of us sit up in front with Erenville just in case. I'd like to stay on deck. I'm eager to put my pictomancy up to the proof, and I'll take any chance to show you I can hold my own on the battlefield. Then Cryo will stand on guard with Ibuki. Although you could... I'll keep Erenville company then. With my blade I can respond more quickly to threats than Alphino. Thank you. If a fight breaks out, I'll try to stay out of your way. Then I shall endeavour to provide aid where it is needed. I can do that as well. That should cover most eventualities. Secure your gear and board the boat when you're ready. It's kind of funny how they're making this big deal of organising everyone up for the party, but you only do get them if you're doing a duty support. Let the hunt begin. They do all this organising you together, but you could always just go in with a bunch of adventurers and then everyone else is stuck inside the barge while Alisei is the one out on the front. NEV. Duty support, Alphino, Wuk Lamat, Cryo. Wuk Lamat counts as an intrepid, which means that she's a warrior that'll be a DPS if you're already a tank. Let's go! Honestly, I find these long-distance looping dungeon segments to be kind of interesting. If all party members are incapacitated, they will be revived and granted a buff. Bonus will be recorded for the first time completion of a duty. Forget who else is on the river right now. We have company! Honestly, he doesn't seem to be doing much over there. That's probably why it's taking so long to actually finish it off. I don't know whether I can trust mass pulls with a duty support party though. LSA, you've got to use more than auto attacks. They're in for some rain, it seems. That is Bakul Jaja ahead of us. Be ready for anything. Yes, come closer, we have something for you. A gift courtesy of the blessed siblings. Scheming bastard. This is not going to plan. We'll just have to improvise. The harness. Afraid of a fair fight? See you upriver if you make it that far. And the Bakul Jaja, he's broken the boat. Crippling our boat was a cowardly move. Erinville, we're losing speed. Can't command the impunity like this. The harness is broken, I'm sorry, but we have to pull over the bank. It seems Bakul Jaja got his way. We won't be going anywhere until we can make proper repairs. Huh. You know, I never actually thought about trying to explore around up on that barge. See if there's a route out overland. We'll catch up to you later. We have to mend this damage. If you could help me, LSA? Of course, whatever you need. And it's time for our first boss of the expansion, and it's second Punity. Oh boy, this is gonna... 'Tis mother of all Punity. It's huge. Punity Press! Oh boy, and now we've got this mess of mechanics going on. Resurface. The sheer force. It's pulling everything in. Don't get caught in it. Yeah, I wasn't kidding. This is a complete mess of mechanics. Always make sure you end up next to this fly trap because it is going to do a massive AoE with only safe spot being right next to it. But you might not always have a safe line of travel, especially if you're a melee class that needs to throw their neck on the line. Oh wait! I'm comboing you. Song of the Punity. No, Crow, you twit! Shore Shaker. This is an expanding AoE. Get ready to move into the middle after the hit. No, not this again. I say as though I don't have perfect control over this. Is it even possible to use that attack again? There's no more greenery for it to eat. You see what it did? The jungle itself was laid to waste. Punity Press! Song of the Punity again! I'll never look at Punity the same way again. Such monstrous lungs that creature had. Is that an anteater? Huh, I don't think I've had a proper look at it, but I do remember anteaters are pretty bad news from Morpaz's videos. The thing that annoys me about duty support is that they never aim for the one that I'm aiming for. It's like they know specifically which one to go after to annoy me. Are they actually dealing any damage at all? Oh, also, ladder climbing animation. I'm sure that's very important. What strange happenstance? Hath some misfortune befallen thy vessel? Apologies, friend, it seems you'll be taking the long way around. Such cheek! We'll have to find another route. This annoys me. I actually get kind of frustrated at this part because they could have absolutely killed some of us. And then where would you be if the next time a whopping primal comes along? Oh well, we had to win the competition even though it's the Warrior of Light that we ended up killing. You know, putting what's-his-face on the throne was important. And mimics. The green one being Ibuki feels slightly horrifying. Oh wait, you're immune to... immune to stun, I guess. These Mimiklots are quite horrifying if you think about it. They act like the zombies from Dusk Vigil. Because I didn't pull every single one of them, I get a nice long look at them. Great! Necklace of Healing. Just what I always wanted. Oh, we lost a powder charge because of that. Drowsy. We don't usually get enemies suffering status effects in a dungeon. We can't simply sneak by, can we? Not likely. I mean, nothing's stopping us aside from the fact that there's this stupid barrier here. If Drowsy didn't want to get beaten up, then he shouldn't have put up the barrier. Okay, now this one can be kind of tricky. They're coming from below! Because you have to figure out where the soul safe spot is. And then they get bigger. I'd have loved to position him better than that, but I didn't want to get clobbered. It's the mimics from before. Stop running away, I'm still beating on you. Oh, this one doesn't look fun to avoid. This looks especially not fun to avoid. You know what? I can't believe I found a safe spot in all that nonsense. Another victory for us. Out of the tunnels we go. They were really proud of these ladder animations, I guess. Even though this is the only time in the game that they ever use them, they're still very proud of those ladder animations. These creatures were killed. Some territorial dispute? Now you aren't immune to stun, so I can beat on you as much as I want. That's a little bit bloody, ain't it? Actually, you know what? we're going all in. We might as well try it out here. There's the question, did I overextend? We might just be able to keep up with this. Chest. They didn't drop any fending gear this dungeon. I'm quite annoyed. What creature was that? Some sort of vilekin? The vilekin we saw earlier. My axe for a giant boot! We've got Pumas coming in. They don't seem interested in us. After a Riviera Predator, it seems. It's eating them. Everything is food. Yep. Eating and feeding on the beasts has strengthened its wing beaks. And now it's jumping around and doing wild things and throwing out. Avoid the lightning. Hi, Wuk Lamat. One thing after another, isn't it? It's okay, Alphano. I forgive you for not curing me of this status effect. I know you can't get rid of it. Oh boy, I really suck at avoiding this one. She was so eager to get that limit break off that she broke the rules and was moving while using the limit break. Alright, so it gave us a River's Breath bayonet? Ooh, that is a fancy looking gunblade, isn't it? It's all bony. And a River's Breath staff. So the only tank gear we got out of this was the thing that they give you for was the guaranteed drop for clearing the dungeon. Go figure.
This is as far as we can go on foot, it seems. We'll have to head back and see about fixing the boat.
Everyone all right?
I was worried we might not be able to catch up to you. Those caverns you traversed were dug by the Hyuykatumu in their search for gold. Remnants of their excavations can be found throughout this region. Well, I appreciate the lesson, oh wise guide. Are we landing this boat anytime soon? Our river journey is almost over. For proof of that, you only need to look ahead. The falls were impressive enough from a distance, but it's almost too much now. Yes, amazing. Now, please let me off. No more boats. Are you... you're not alright. I shouldn't be surprised if she was. Even without the nausea, we're all spent. There is a mountain shelter nearby, a resting spot for those who've ascended the stairs. I suggest we make use of it. That would be a welcome respite. Have you the strength for a short walk, Wuk Lamat? We can rest along the way too. Damn it all! A promise is meant to lead from the front, not mule and moan like a sick kitten. Wuk Lamat? Ignore me, it's the nausea talking. I'm fine, really. Lead on, I'll follow. Very well, but if I may say one thing. Just because you're a promise or a claimant for the throne doesn't mean you can't be seen to struggle. You needn't bear this burden alone, so please don't hesitate to talk to us. We're always willing to lend an ear. But Kyle, Leaning on others is a skill all leaders require. You as well, Ibuki? The silent character is speaking up against me on this? I've always believed this is my problem alone, but perhaps you have the right of it. Alright, I'll talk about things. Just give me a moment to collect my thoughts. Of course, as long as you need. We'll be waiting at the shelter when you're ready. I've long felt that I could never tell anyone when I was confused or hurting, that admitting to weakness would bring shame to Papa's name. But if you'll say you're willing to listen, then there are things I'd like to talk about. Come on, let's catch up to the others. And what does the remote roulette give us this time? It's the ironclad horse. Okay. Oh, we have to make sure to hit the ether compass whenever we... Southwest, huh? I think we'll have reason to go over there later. Ooh, actually... We'll save it for later. Main point is, this is actually the same area we were last time, but now we're on the up of the cliffs instead of down there. Always attuned to the Aetherites. You just can't not do it. We should stop here for the night. It's 2 in the afternoon, you dunce. I understand the desire to rush ahead, but we need to recuperate from our punishing river adventure. Then let's settle in. We'll need a cook fire and there's meal preparation to be done.
I've been meaning to ask, but how does one become the adopted child of the Dawn Servant?
I was but a ball of fuzz at the time, so I don't remember much. My earliest memories are of life in the palace. All I know is that I was born in Ikbrash, a village in Yaktel. But I've never bothered to return there. As far as I'm concerned, Ulul Jaja is my only parent.
I quite understand. I have no memories of my birth parents either. For a while, I wanted to learn who they were. But over time, that curiosity waned. Galuf was my dear grandfather, and he was all I needed.
So our situations were quite similar. Even though Papa already had a trueborn son, he raised me and Kona with no less love. One time, I'd wandered off alone into the forest and gotten lost. Before I became a meal for some beast, Papa dropped everything and came to my rescue. I was scared and sobbing and ready for a scolding. But the head of resolve praised me for surviving the ordeal. I did get my lecture from the head of reason, though. He went on and on about the dangers of the jungle and all the horrible ways I could have died. Growing up, Papa was kind and patient, but a tyrant when it came to training. Now, of course, I realize he was preparing me for my duties as a promise. For all the good it did. There's so much I failed to learn about my own country. Whether it's alpacas or Ihihana, I hardly know anything. I've lived such a sheltered life, yet convinced myself I understood Tural and its people. I don't have Kona's education, or Zoralja's strength. I'm all bluff and bravado, not fit to bear my title.
You can't measure your worth by the success of others.
Don't compare myself to my siblings, you mean? I think I see what you're saying. My reasons for joining the contest have nothing to do with my brothers. It's always been about the Turali and what I can do for them.
And also not letting your eldest brother start a war, that's pretty important too.
You said it yourself. How important it is to properly know something. To hear the voices of others, empathize with how they feel, and think how best to serve. In so doing, you'll come ever closer to being the person you wish to be.
I'm sorry, everyone. I've been a fool. From this moment on, I'll stop trying to be the promise I'm not. I won't feign strength to hide my weaknesses. Step by step, I'll learn all there is to know and love about Tulihyolal and my fellow Turali.
It's all very nice, but it does kind of mean that you've peaked at your character development at level 91. Hopefully there'll be something else to learn.
It might not be the smoothest path, but it'll be a path of my own making. I will find the City of Gold for all of us, along with the answers you seek about your grandfather, Kryl.
I appreciate it, Wuk Lamat. But you needn't take on that burden as well. Galuf Baldessian dedicated his life to protecting people from all manner of threats. As his granddaughter, I wouldn't wish to endanger others for the sake of a personal investigation. So let's just concentrate on winning the contest. We have a shared goal, and, if at all possible, I'd rather we enjoy the journey.
Hear, hear. We are companions on the same road, bound for the same destination. With our combined talents, nothing will stop us from reaching the Golden City.
Thank you. Thank you all. I am proud to call you my friends.
Meanwhile, in the second Promises camp.
Thank you. Thank you all. I am proud to call you my friends.
They seem to be enjoying themselves. Are you sure you don't want to go and say a word to your sister?
Sorry for nearly burying you in a landslide.
Nay, there is no need for that. But what of you two? Wuk Lamat's allies are your comrades. It must feel strange to be rivals.
Helping you has made us rivals, aye. But we're not about to break into fisticuffs over it. Unless, of course, it is a matter of winning or losing the contest. Then I'll have no qualms about putting Alizé on her rear.
Despite our long history, never have I been given the chance to test myself against our companions. The thought stirreth within me a most unexpected sense of competition.
Lamachi has surrounded herself with distinguished figures indeed. One of the Studium's finest graduates.
Yeah, we never do get anyone other than bots around here, do we?
And then there's Eorzea's vaunted champion. If she's half the hero you say, then the odds are stacked against us. Not that I've any intention of bowing out.
Hang on, how do I get rid of this?
Our time in Urkelpacha only
I
served
cannot
to
figure out how to
strengthen
do
my
this
resolve.
stream chat nonsense.
We saw
Are you
how a
capable
single
of
storm
deleting
cut
that
off the
message?
alpaca roots and threw my people's lives into disarray. Such uncertainties are why I advocate for the adoption of
Thank you.
Sharlayan innovations, that Tulihyolal might know greater stability and prosperity.
Clearly block isn't the right option there.
Our nation can change for the better, and I will be the man to change it.
Well, it's a start. I imagine your experiences on this journey, all the things you'll hear and feel and think, will help you refine that approach.
You're not clever, Thancred.
But to return to the subject of the rite, I'm a touch concerned by the condition for victory. The claimant who breaks the seal becomes Dawn Servant, not the one who performed the 7 feats first.
The would-be victor need only possess the 7 keystones.
That is correct. As the contest wears on, we must brace ourselves for greater conflict.
Meanwhile, with the first promise.
Your rivals still lag behind.
He's already at the Moblins.
The second and third promise may have recruited competent lackeys, but none compared to you. How can they hope to compete with the resilient son? The only child ever sired by a two-head. Only the ignorant or foolish could fail to see that you were born to be Dawn's servant.
Such titles mean nothing.
I neglected to mention. When I first heard the rumors that the contest involved the Golden City, I spoke in confidence with Gulul Jaja's inner circle. They all agreed on one thing. Whoever reaches the City of Gold will attain a power so great, it can dictate the course of history. If this power truly exists, then I humbly beg a fair share of it. Time is passing, and I would put my plans in motion without delay. The useless tool is cast aside after all. And just so there is no misunderstanding, you consent to this course, no matter who is made to suffer.
In battle, everyone bleeds. The Dawn's promise is no exception. What better lesson to teach our people the folly of war?
I was hoping for a good scrap, but this bloated sack of bile was no challenge at all. I wonder if the house cat is dead yet. Be ashamed to lose a plaything, but we'd still have 2 more.
If I may ask, Chosen One, what are your plans for Tuliyollal after you take the throne?
Plans? What makes you think we care about all that? We care only about the contest and proving our superiority. That would surely please Mother and Father.
Bakul Jaja has parent problems.
Yes, and when we become Dawn's servant, we'll drive out the weakling masses and invite our kin to live in the city. Fine idea! Our family deserves better than that rotten jungle. But do it then. We must catch up to that one-headed pretender and remind him of the natural order.
I made it.
I thought we were missing someone. Where have you been?
Oh, I feared I was done for when I fell from the boat. Yet, somehow I made it. Oh, my arms, I can barely lift them. If I could just rest a moment.
You expect us to wait for you? Those who can't keep up will be left behind. My brother has spoken. March, or be fodder for the beasts.
But I followed the teachings. Everything I've done, everything I've sacrificed, all has been for the blessed seedlings. Wait. Don't leave me behind! I'm begging you!
And he's got to go up that bloody ladder. You don't have that many friends left. Being able to say those things have brought me such relief. It's like a stone has been lifted off my chest and I can take a full breath at last. I don't want to encumber myself like that again. I want to be better. We'll be better for myself and for my people. Yeah, level 91. We have not been making much progress in this game. You can now enter with NPC avatars. A leaking work pot. Erenville is concerned about the dangers on the road. The Moblins settlement north of Earthenshire is not far from here, but be warned, the road we'll be taking is a favoured hunting ground for bandits. With the stairs currently impassable, there'll be fewer travellers, meaning brigands will be desperate for victims to ambush. Although considered with present company, I suppose my concern is unwarranted. Bandits on the road? What have Zorja and the Landsguard been doing? Seems it's up to me to restore order to the area. And there she goes off again. For now we'll head west and aim for the bank of the second river. Alright, what's Minion Roulette giving us this time? It's giving us a bird. Not for long though, because we've got to stop by the Alpaca Keep just to check ourselves in. And we get another bird. At least it's a different bird this time. It's not the same one twice in a row. I'd have been very upset if I had hit the minion, if I hit Mount Roulette and it gave me the same thing twice. Well, where are these bandits? Apparently they're not foolish enough to attack a party of this size. Earthenshire is just a little farther ahead, on the opposite bank of Megazuzama, but let's remain vigilant all the same. Ether Current. Gotta grab that. Alright, is it gonna be 3 birds? No, it's a snowman. And another alpaca keep and an aetherite crystal. This is it, the village where the Lay of Pots from the Tuliolo saga took place. Earthenshire, Idleshire. Might the similarity be a cultural inclination, I wonder? The settlements themselves couldn't be more different though. This shire appears custom built to resemble pots, while the other is a repurposed town. Welcome to Earthenshire. Do I have the pleasure of happy greeting the Third Promise and her retinue? That's us. We're looking for the Dawn Servant Selector, if you happen to know who that is. You are exchanging tongue flaps with her right now. Ready Rock is the elector you seek. Oh, that's helpful. We can cut straight to performing the feat. As much as Ready Rock would like to do just that, we have a more pressing worry. The storm which hit our village shattered the cliffs and dropped rocks on our brain cases. Many help hands for the Potsworn were injured. This is no time for feats or metal tests. I'm sorry to hear that. After hearing what the storm did to the stairs, I feared you'd been caught in its path. Not to change the subject, but what are the Potsworn? Goldsmiths contracted to work for the Moblins. The word comes from the pot-like workshops where they practice their craft. The Moblins provide these Potsworn with tools, materials, living quarters, everything the partisans could possibly need. This allows them to concentrate on producing what is widely known as the finest gold and metalwork in Tural. This is unacceptable. I was promised no distractions. If this is the best they can offer, I should have never left Wakumakichi. You see, the Potsworn desert us. Without enough healthy help hands, we are failing to uphold our side of the Pot Pact. Should all our Potsworn leave, Earthenshire will grind to a halt. We have to do something, and do it soon. Then let us stand in for the injured helpers. It would give me the chance to learn more about your people and your village. And if it brings us closer to beginning the feat, then all the better. This isn't strictly part of the contest, so don't feel obligated to join in. Take a rest while you can. Now here's the question. Ibuki is a nice girl. Do you think that she'd say, of course I'll help, or do you think she'd be a troll and say, I could use a nap? I'm sure that it's Alizé specifically that'll give us grief, and I don't think Ibuki would mess about when it's... You know what? It's funnier. Yeah, I could use a nap. What Ibuki means to say is we'll all help. I doubt any of us could just sit around and watch. I was hoping you'd feel that way. I wasn't actually sure I could do this on my own. We'll take every help hand we can get. Ready Rock truth swears once Potsworn have the perfect workshops again. We'll commence the feat with all haste. You and the Third Promise can assist help hand Rakarok. You other four follow Ready Rock. There are other help hands in need of hand lending. We always get split up with the Wuk Lamat, never any other character. I really appreciate you pitching in. I meant what I said at many fires. There'll be no more feigning strength, no more playing at being an invincible promise. If there's one thing I've learned on this journey, it's how practiced you are at aiding those in need. And I mean to make the most of it having such an incredible mentor at my side. Now, let's find this Ragnarok fellow and see what we can do for him. Ragnarok can't meet his obligations without more help hands. The pot factory is broken, the pots are emptying. You've come to aid Ragnarok. Ragnarok accepts your hand lending with joyous field smiles. If we can offer the Potsworn their promised good living, we might save the day yet. Whatever you need. We are at least at level 92, so we're almost... we can't even say we're a quarter of the way to the actual end of this. Ragnarok needs help learning about Potsworn K. What Ragnarok needs is new help hands to create good living for Potsworn K. The help hand assigned to Kei was hurt during the rock rain, so Ragnarok took over, but he knows nothing of Kei. What does Kei want? What does Kei need? Help hands do not bother the Potsworn with straight tasks. Our whole job is to observe and anticipate, to prepare things with guest think. Please guest think with Ragnarok. Find out what Kei is lacking so we can provide it. You can count on us. This is where Kei works, is it? Let's take a peek inside then. That must be Kei. It'd be a lot quicker if we could just talk to him, but that's not the way they do things around here, apparently. We'll have to leave him be and try our hand at some guessing. Inspect the workshop. Target point of interest and examine in more detail. Let's see if for this stream we can get through the Pact of Pots at least. Maybe we'll be around level 93 perhaps, if we're lucky. We'll see. Every now and then you get funny little side options in segments like this, like how you're able to see the ambidextrous. You get to see the little axolotl from the previous time period, or how you'd have a bird that's always just staring dead-eye at you. He's barely touched his meal. The dish is meant to be eaten hot or it loses its savor. Well, he has no shortage of crafting materials. There must be something else he's missing. Those tools look pretty worn down. Maybe it's time for some new ones? He must be boiling, sitting so close to the furnace. There's no airflow to speak of. How could anyone work in that stifling heat? Oh, there was also Ishtola. You could look at Ishtola at times and she'd turn around and scold you for ogling her. Alright, after taking a good look, I think I have an idea of what things Kei might want to improve his working conditions. Let's head back outside and talk to Ragnarok. You made your observations. What did you guess think? First off, I noticed Kei hasn't touched his food. An empty belly can't be good for his concentration. Maybe the cooking isn't to his liking? But our food is very mouth-pleasing. Why wouldn't he want to eat it? But Rakrok is sure of nothing when it comes to Kei's tastes. I can help you with that. My brother Koana is also Hitsaru, and while everyone has their personal preferences, there are some that they tend to share. Like an aversion to piping hot dishes. If it was brought to him like that, Kei probably wouldn't have been able to eat it until it cooled down. By the time he came back to it, he might have found it cold and unappetizing. The simplest solution is to serve dishes that taste good no matter the temperature. Rakrok would never have thought of that. Would the third promise mind explaining these things to our cook? Not at all, but I don't think that was the only reason Kei couldn't concentrate. The Hitsaru homeland is hot and dry, but even Kei seemed to be suffering in front of that furnace. Is there a way you could cool down the workshop? Ooh, we could try a drafty shard. They make a lovely breeze. Do you know where we can get one of those? You can gather them from the shoals of no return. There are many old boats there, abandoned by those who gave up their search for the Golden City. So we salvage them from the wrecks. Could you handle that for us, Ibuki? Oh, one more thing. From what I could tell, Kei's files and saws and things were very worn down. Maybe a new set of tools is on order? Ah, Rakrok was too preoccupied with stocking material. A serious oversight, which he will rectify. Supplying good tools for good living is a help-hand's responsibility. Then, we all have work to do. We can meet back here when our tasks are done. The shoals of no return are past the crags through a tunnel southeast of here. We should be able to spot the passage from just outside the village. It definitely doesn't inspire confidence in us to hear about how many people... This bird again? To hear about how many people gave up on finding the Golden City. Vantage point for some reason, rather than just go straight there. You're Ibuki, aren't you? What brings you out here? Ah, the issue with caring for the Potsworn. When they approached me with the same problem, I suggested they could commission artisans in Sharlayan instead. The quality of craftsmanship would be guaranteed after all. However, the Moblins did not care for the idea. Surely it would be more effective to engage in a uniformly trained collective. I cannot understand their fixation on individual contracts. Perhaps the custom will make more sense once we begin the feat of pots. Until then, we've been deemed unfit to assist in the matter of help hands, and are instead tasked with attending the injured. We were on our way back from procuring herbs for Urianger, in fact. Settlements in Kozumarako too have been isolated by the storm's destruction. What would have become of the wounded had we not found a way here? Should I become Dawn Servant, one of my first acts will be to establish reliable trade routes to the capital. When I imagine how much good we can achieve with Sharlayan technology. My apologies, I have much to consider. If you will excuse us. We'll meet again soon, I'm sure. Take care, Ibuki. That would be why we needed the vantage point, so we had an excuse for a cutscene where we get pestered by Koana. You spot the tunnel opening, head through the passage to the shoals of no return, and recover the drafty shard. Hey Midgard Soma. You can tell that Thancred can sort of pick up on Koana's flaws, but he's hanging around him because he does believe that Koana can overcome them and learn to become a proper leader. Similar to what we're doing with Wuk Lamat, actually. And hey, look at that, a very nicely positioned ether current. And a Morble. We'll just leave the Morble to its own devices. So we need a drafty shard. That is a fire crystal over there. That's probably water. I think they want the wind crystal. This crystalline shard emanates a soothing whisper of wind. It seems you found the crystal Rakrok sent you to salvage. $100 gil in exchange for not having to warp back. Is that a cool breeze Rakrok feels? Yes, thank you for finding a drafty shard. Rakrok will add it to the new set of tools he brought. And I come bearing good food tidings. The cook has prepared a feast fit the most discerning Hetsaro. It's on its way even as we speak. Let's go in and see what Kahe thinks of our efforts. I have to wonder if the crafting quest for this expansion involves you coming here and being a temporary Pactor, because blacksmith, armor, and goldsmith tend to be merged together ever since Shadowbringers, I believe. I was wondering what occasion called for me to receive so many visitors. A fine new tools, a fine meal, new tools, and a welcome source of cool air. Now I remember why I signed a pot pact. I am grateful for your kind considerations. Allow me a moment or two. I'll reciprocate with a piece worthy of a portsworn. An oil lamp to brighten the halls of Volok Shunsa. The craftsmanship satisfies Arvenshire's reputation for quality, I trust. Such luster, such brilliance, truly a gift fit for the Dawn Servant. Maybe we shouldn't have gotten him the wind crystal though, because I keep thinking I need to get that ether current when I'm done with the cutscene. I'm glad you like it. Consider the time I've wasted till now. I hope I can continue crafting at this improved pace. I have a contract to fulfill after all. Forgive my interruption. Lamachi, I'm told the Elector has deemed the crisis past and prepared to task us with the feat. That's great news. Thank you for letting me know. So this is the craft of a portsworn. It is indeed a masterful piece. Thank you for your word of praise, Second Promise. I drew inspiration from Kozumaku's natural beauty and sought to capture it in my work. I wondered why the Moblins simply did not build a workshop in the city. and now I have my answer. Even Sharlayan goldsmiths could not easily replicate such exquisite artistry. One cannot create great things if one lacks creative impetus. Tuliolo, fortunately, does not want for inspiration. Anyone wishing to learn the basics of a craft would do well to study it here. I was raised among Hetzaru, more traditional than most, and the ingenuity of Tural's various peoples was eye-opening. I need to get that ether current! You lived as a traditional Hetzaru? I have few fond memories of nomadic life. The weird thing is that I think the race of Aura that Ibuki currently is, I think she's from the steppes, which means that she is actually she would be pretty familiar with nomadic life, ignoring the fact that she's also an adventurer, but Ragnarok is grateful to you. I thank you for both your hard work and clever guessing. When it comes to help-handing, knowing the Potsworn really is important. Well, that's true for pretty much everyone you meet. It's a lesson I've had drummed into me several times already on this journey. Koana has details to share concerning the forthcoming Feat of Pots. The Elector bids the claimants assemble in the large building on the west side of the village. I will head over after finding Thancred and Urianger. I also ran into the Elevia twins on the way here. I took the liberty of directing them to the venue. They're rivals. It's not his job to make sure I know the feat is starting. But even now he's conscientious to a fault. Anyway, let's not keep Ready Rock waiting. It reminds me of a... oh boy. I saw an animation of Gaia giving a small kiss on the cheek to Rhine, and then it's followed up by Urianger trying to get a kiss from Thancred, because apparently that's the popular ship that those two are part of. Ready Rock thanks you for assisting in Help Hand Ragnarok. She will announce the feat once the other claimants arrive, so please be patient a little while longer. I'm happy to report we were able to convince one of the Potsworn to stay. How did you fare? I went out into the river and got a shiny rock. So you managed to do the same. Splendid. Welcome to Earthenshire, First Promise. We support your plans for salt crossings. The new Potsworn they will bring. Hail the mighty Zoroja! He cleared many piles of rockfall as if they were pebble stones, the resilient son for Dawn Servant! Zoroja was clearing fallen rocks? I'm surprised he would volunteer his time for anything unrelated to the contest. Well, well, we meet again. Just in time for the feat to begin. Well, Betty was already here laying low while all the rest of us did the work. Claimants, your attention, please. As Ready Rock has explained, many of our Potsworn left us following the storm. The precious metalwork crafted by those artisans brings in much jingly shine from across the salt. Should our stream of trade goods dry up, Earthenshire will suffer. Tuliolo merchants will suffer. So Ready Rock sets you this feat. Each of you are to find one clever hand goldsmith to bring back here to us. So where to recruit new potsworn? Makes sense for the feat of pots. Calling this a feat does not justify taking advantage of the claimants and their influence. How does finding workers for you demonstrate their worthiness for the throne? You are free to refuse Ready Rock's request. She will be happy to inform the Dawn Servant of Zorja's disqualification. The right is a means to an end. The steps we take to get there are not important. Then Ready Rock declares the feat of pots begun, but remember, a pot pact must be agreed to willingly. No grab snatching or deceitful tongue flaps. The Elector said nothing of taking a willing artisan from a rival. Which is exactly what we should do. A fine suggestion, brother. I'm glad you think so, brother. Come, let us lay our plans. That nasty brute is up to something. Aye, well, he may seek to delay us again as he did on the river. We can but remain vigilant while we plot our course. What do you think, Wuk Lamat? Have you any candidates in mind to satisfy this feat? I know some artisans among my supporters, but they're all in their twilight years. I couldn't ask them to give up the comforts of Tuliolo to live in this remote village, no matter how beautiful the scenery. Meanwhile, Koana probably has 100 young craftspeople to choose from. Not that I'm comparing us, you understand, it's just a statement of fact. I suppose we could try asking around Wakumakichi. That seems a logical place to start. Back to Tuliolo it is. Wait, does that mean we have to take the boat again? No, I can't do it. I can't stomach another boat ride. You said I should share my burdens, so I will speak plainly. The truth is, I get really sick on boats. Wuk Lamat, this is hardly news. But it was brave for you to admit. In any case, we won't be fighting the current this time. Heading downriver will be much smoother. It will? Are you sure? Look at those eyes! I'm positive. Mostly. For some reason, the only time that teleports are brought up are when it's reminding us Thancred can't use teleports. Oh wow, we did actually just skip straight back to here. Ugh, I need a moment. Upriver or downriver. Ihuykatumu is too rough for me. The nausea is a bit more bearable now that I'm trying to stop to hide it, but I'd still rather not set foot on a boat if I can help it. Alright, I think I'm ready. Let's see if Master Ropley can help us recruit a pot sworn. Greetings, Third Promise. What brings you back to Waku Mikiki? You've not chipped your axe again, have you? No, Master Ropley. Actually, I have a favor to ask. So, what do you think? Do you know of any craftsmen who might be interested? Filching my artisans for the Moblins, eh? Well, seeing as it's the Third Promise making the request, I'm willing to look the other way if one of them decides to take you up on the offer. Only, I can't think of any suitable candidates off the top of my head. Who do I know with a mastery of goldsmithing that would also have no qualms about relocating to Earthenshire? What of the Elysian man who just started working here? You mean Fontaine? He did say he was employed at some fancy jewellery store across the salt. And considering the distance he's already come, I'd like to think he wouldn't mind moving a little up the river. That said, he's only just got himself a new job. Is it too soon to ask him to sign a pact? There's no harm in making the offer. Once he hears how well the Potsworn are treated, he may even jump at the chance. Either way, he won't find Fontaine at his workbench at this hour. He's finished for the day, probably enjoying a meal over at Expaliav. Then maybe we should go and talk to him, just you and me, since he knows us. We wouldn't want him to feel intimidated by having to deal with a crowd of new faces. The two of us can handle this. Take a rest at the cabins if you like. It all comes full circle, doesn't it? Right, let's go and see a man about a pot. Ugh, I'm still not sure about this. Oh, Ibuki, you're here too. The Third Promise said she wanted to chat. I've just finished eating, so shall we find a quiet spot outside? The last time we talked on this beach, you were in a miserable state. Yeah, I wasn't I? A lost soul, until the two of you came along and helped me rediscover my purpose. My new place of employment has been most welcoming, and for the first time in a long time, I feel content with my lot in life. That's wonderful! So, what is it you wish to discuss? Well, it's hard to ask this right after you've settled in, but I'm looking for someone to become a potsworn. Ah, I've heard my new colleagues mention the term. That's when an artisan signs a contract to work for the Moblins, isn't it? But you're not a Moblin. I'm not sure I understand. It's for a feat in the right of succession. I need to bring a new potsworn to Earthenshire. So that is the way of it. We've barely met, and after pushing you to work at Wagumichichi, I'm now demanding you throw that away and sign a pop pact instead. It's a selfish request, I know. I have something to tell you, Third Promise. The other day, I completed the necessary procedures for immigration. I'm pleased to now say I'm an official subject of Tuliolo. I've since endeavored to learn what I can of my new nation, beginning with the right of succession and its claimants, including you, of course. Now, you will recall that it was my father's example which led me to pursue goldsmithing. He was at East End when Gallian forces laid siege to the settlement. In the ensuing chaos, he was slain. War took him from me in an instant. The man I loved and admired. I never wish to suffer such a loss again. And so, as much as I'm indebted to you for turning my life around, it is as a fellow peace-loving Tuliolo I wish you to win the throne. If I can help you achieve that by signing a pop pact, I shall gladly do so. Von Jatine, thank you. I shall return to Master Ropley and inform him of my decision. Allow me, I'm the reason you're leaving, so I should be the one to deliver the news. Perhaps you remember me? Brooke Evu, owner of FFXIV. I'd like a word if you don't mind. You're Wuk Lamat's ally from across the salt, and a hero of some renown too, if the gossip's to be believed. Well, as it so happens, I could use some heroic help. It doesn't need to be right now, but could you come by when you have a spare moment? Much appreciated. I'll be waiting for you at my shop then. So, Brooke, you can now gain access to role quests. Brooke Evu at FFXIV Tai and pursue new adventures as you progress through the rite of succession. We won't be tackling this with Ibuki because it is not plot required, but one of the streams in the future, I will come back here and I will do every role quest on Ravenna. Because she does have all of her class, each role at level 100, so she can show all of them. So there's a thing to look forward to in the distant future. Master Ropley, I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but... Von Jintane has agreed to sign the Pop Pact, yes? Well, it is a shame to lose so capable a goldsmith. To have one of our own hand-picked to serve the Third Promise is a great honor. I appreciate your understanding. Of course, if you happen to know any other talented artisans, regardless of their expertise, I hope you send them my way. It could even be yourself, if you're so inclined. I'll keep that in mind. Though my time here was brief, I will not forget your kindness, Master Ropley. I am blessed to have these workshops be my first home in Tuliolo. Come back to us if the Moblins cut you loose. You'll always have a job here. I expect you'll want to leave for Earthenshire as soon as possible. I'll go and pack my things. What became of Pontingane? Were you able to find him? We did, and he's agreed to become a potsworn. We'll leave when he's ready, but you still have a little time. Splendid, we shall meet you anon. I had plenty of reasons to win the contest, but now I have one more. Fontaine's putting his faith in me. I won't let him down. We get a pair of pants. You can now do deliveries for Wakumaki. You can pursue new endeavors as you progress through the rite of succession. So these are the crafting and gathering role quests. Wuk Lamat needs to pay a visit to the palace. Oh, okay. Right then, I have some things to take care of at the palace. Well, you can pass the time however you like. I suggest you head back to the cabins. After all, even heroes need to rest. We still have a big journey ahead of us. Okay, I think this quest is what I'm going to close out the stream with because I feel like there's just too much afterwards for us to get to any important milestones. So, we're going to do our father first. I probably should have taken an aetheryte shard to the cabins. Welcome back, madam. You've had a Landsguard messenger most anxiously waiting on your return. Ibuki of the Third Promise's entourage. I've been looking all over the city for you. The Dawn servant summons you to the palace. You are to present yourself to the gate guards stationed outside Sunperch at your earliest convenience. Oh, one more thing. You are not to mention this visit to Wuk Lamat. Well, that's suspicious and a half, isn't it?
The Dawn servant awaits you within. While is not informed of the reason for your audience in Tansa attire, I would suggest full battle regalia.
Duty calls. Commence battle. Level sync is in effect. If you are above the maximum allowed level, it will be synced as follows. Level 92, item level 655.
Forgive me these sudden summons. When I learned my daughter's champion was back in the city, I couldn't resist the opportunity. And they call me head of resolve for good reason. Old as I am, I have not lost a battle worthy of the name since the day I took the throne. And I've been craving a proper challenge.
the Lance Walter Stinian. He fought well enough, but our bout was ended before a victor could be decided. Judging by the sailors' gossip, you are a warrior of renown in your homeland. Yet I wonder, with all your deeds done and victories won, are you warrior enough to stand against me?
So why don't we find out?
A spirited answer. Why not indeed? The battle rages upon me. I'll stop short of killing you, of course. But expect no other mercies.
Stella had a...
Ready your arms and show me the truth of the tales.
Actually, no, maybe I shouldn't gossip about gaming friends. Instant battle against Gulu Jaja. Yep.
I want a fight to remember. Let's test the waters. They didn't even blink.
Pay attention to all this because he's going to start doing it in a much more extreme manner later on.
Have you ever fought a viper? Let's see how you handle this. Very well.
Uh-oh.
Resolve and listen, Kingdom. All right.
Sleeping. Oh dear. He keeps aiming at me. There's not enough time to get out of the way.
Did you think you had my measure? Take this!
Oh boy, it's one of these Simon Says ones. Excuse me, I was hitting you! Doubling. So now he has some copies for mixing up his abilities in tandem. I think this is the ending. The doubles use doubling.
Now we'll see what you're truly made of.
Ow. Clash rapidly to push back.
That will do. You've shown me more than enough.
This theme is actually the main title screen, just tuned up a bit for battle.
I brought my full strength to bear against opponents before, but you are the first to withstand it. Even with my head of reason asleep, I never expected you to give me so much trouble. Estinian did not exaggerate. You are a force to be reckoned with. Now, a confession. I said I crave a challenge, and that was no lie. But I had another reason for calling you here. I had to judge for myself if you were fit to attend my beloved daughter. In some respects, she is much like me. Hard-headed and prone to rush into danger. But one with your adamant defense could shield Lamati from those who would do her harm. Will you hear my question and answer me plainly? Address me not as the ruler of Tuliyola, but a concerned father. Thank you. Then tell me, given your journey together thus far, what is your impression of Lamati? Whether it be as their promise or just a companion on the road. Speak your mind.
She is not ready to rule.
Well, I did ask you to speak your mind, but agreed, she is not ready for the throne. Not yet. Lamati thinks she understands her many peoples, their histories, their cultures, their beliefs. But she knows only what she's seen in the capital. And it's not only her who concerns me. Even this early in the contest, you must have realized. As potential rulers, all four claimants are lacking. This is why I elected to hold the right of succession. Not to choose a fitting candidate, but to cultivate one. And if no one has impressed me by the end of it, then to no one will I yield my throne. As a parent, I pray that my children rise to the occasion. With outsiders dragged into my game, I am also hopeful that the different perspectives you and your companions have to offer will inspire them to grow. I imagine you in particular have traveled many lands, know many peoples and cultures, loved them and being loved in turn.
Ishgard, Norvan, yeah, a couple. Radzatan, Sharlayan.
Guide Lamat as you think best. Walk at her side and, when needed, push her to walk ahead.
I knew it. There I was, about to sit down for some of Namika's cooking, when I heard that Papa had sent for you. You were dueling behind my back, weren't you?
I see there is no point in denying it. You needn't worry, daughter.
I took care not to inflict lasting injuries. You and your ally may return to the contest without disadvantage.
No harm done.
I swear, just as I was learning newfound respect for my father. Let's take our leave of this battle-mad oaf before he calls on the rest of my entourage.
Ooh, it can be our first trial battle. No? Oh, okay.
Watch over her, champion. Kona's recruits are no less sharp, as one might expect of Galof's countrymen. They saw the flaws in our claimants from the outset. The other two, though, they dismiss comrades willing to point out their shortcomings, and no good can come of it.
If he had his way, Papa would keep dueling until the day he dies. Even now, I know of only 3 people who didn't need to be carried away after their bouts. Zorja, your lance-wielding friend Estinian, and yourself. You really do live up to your fearsome reputation. I'm curious though, did Papa want anything else of you? A small favor, nothing more. Well, if that's all that was. Wuk Lamat thinks it's time to gather her allies for the road ahead. I still haven't gotten one bite from the maker's food thanks to Papa's nonsense, so I'm going back to finish my plate before I head out. I've otherwise asked everyone to meet at the Four-Eyed Caverns. Come and join us after you've had a moment to recover, eh? Alright, and I do think this is actually the best time to end the stream. We started earlier than usual, so we're wrapping up earlier than normal close by date, but I think I think we did pretty good progress on stream this time. What does it say? we're still at level 92, but I feel like we're almost done with level 92. I'm sure that the next dungeon will be accessible next stream. So that I feel like it's just mainly cutscenes. Wait, no, we might actually have to end starting at the next dungeon next time, because I remember there's actually more finagling to be done. Never mind. Either way though, until next time guys, take care. I'll see you all around. Let's have Ibuki sleep indoors this time. She doesn't need to sit on the... She doesn't need to sit under an umbrella for an entire week. No. Till next time guys, take care. I'll see you all around.